Comics are weird. Just look at DC's Black Label. DC's Black Label is a print of comics that started publishing in 2018 that showcased more dark and edgy themes. For example, in Batman Damned, we get to see Batman's Wang for the first time and unfortunately the last. There are three types of stories published by the Black Label. The first type don't have a strong connection to the main superhero canon, like the Sandman. The second type are what if or else world type stories like The Dark Knight Returns, and the final type are ones that are connected to the main continuity. They take place during the present and follow the same rules, but they aren't the official prints being published by DC Monthly, so they will not immediately impact the story, but could in the future, like The Killing Joke, which is now under the Black Label. The Black Label has received controversy for making stories like Batman Damned or Batman White Knight. However, they also contain some of DC's classic stories like All-Star Superman, New Frontier, and even Watchmen. If you want more comic facts like where to find Batman's hog, follow for more. Comics are weird. Just look at Spider-Ham. Spider-Ham is a popular Spider-Verse character from Earth 8311. In his universe, everyone is an animal parody of another Marvel character. Like the bee yonder, Meows Morales, and Mary Crane Watson, who Peter Porker ends up having a child with, which just has me seething with jealousy. This cartoony comic run causes Spider-Ham to have several different powers. Like being able to stretch like rubber, get smushed by a 100-ton robot, survive a rocket crashing into a brick building, be unfazed by an attack from a Thor, track others with his nose, create webs that are stronger than himself, lift massive walls and tons of metal debris, summon Popeye's spinach, anvils, and hammers using hammer space, wind up his arms so fast he creates tornadoes, or he can simply start breaking the fourth wall. If you want more comic facts like the logistics of interspecies relationships between a crane and a pig making a baby, follow for more. Comics are weird. Just look at Dr. Doom's perfect future. It starts with Doom being judged by Bast the Panther God because he needs vibranium to forge his perfect future. Bast condemns Doom for his destructive path, but Doom argues he's no worse than Wakanda's past actions to defend their nation. He even shows how he is a saint compared to what humanity has done in the past. He asserts that as ruler, he will enforce laws, instilling fear and preventing harm. Bast's jaw drops to the floor faster than Gwen Stacy falling off a bridge. Bast explains how he looked into the future and only saw one perfect path. This causes him to reluctantly acknowledge Doom's conviction and grants him access to vibranium, paving the way for his vision of Doom World. We even get a glimpse of Doom World with God Emperor Doom. If you want to see this in a future video, follow for more. Comics are weird. Just look at Ultimate Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch's relationship. Quicksilver and Wanda are heading out for the holidays. Captain America sees them and makes a comment about Wanda's revealing clothing since he wants them to be better role models. Quicksilver gets pissed and threatens Cap's life. Cap is very confused, so Wasp starts belittling Cap for being old and not understanding that they are romantically in love, leaving Cap flabbergasted. We get a flashback with Magneto ordering Wolverine to spy on them and kill Pietro. After the fight, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver share a very off-putting moment while Wolverine watches, and what's worse is Wolverine is implied to be their father in this world. Later, Pietro and Wanda get shot while in the street. Pietro goes to save Wanda, but just like in Age of Ultron, Quicksilver has one weakness: bullets. So Wanda ends up getting shot and killed. If you want to see me torture myself with more of these stories, follow for more. Comics are weird. Just look at Spider-Man dogging a Herald of Galactus. It starts with Firelord on a hot pursuit to kill Spider-Man. Peter senses this and starts running for his life. This is because of Firelord's power, which can choke Thor. Spidey tries trapping him in a building set to explode. Immediately after, Pete notices Firelord erupt unscathed. The fight rages on with Firelord attacking a gas station and Pete jumping to the man nearby. A BBW-sized explosion is shown, and somehow Spider-Man escaped the explosion while carrying this bloke. Pete worries Firelord is dead, however he was just pretending. Spider-Man has no option but to fight and starts blitzing Firelord, stating that he's too stubborn to lose and he will fight until he wins. Cap interrupts, telling Pete to chill and that he already won. Peter mentions this fight to Silver Surfer, who says it's Cap, probably because Firelord did this to him. If you want me to read more ridiculous and idiotic feats, follow for more. Comics are weird. Just look at Signal. Duke Thomas is a member of the Bat family who fights during the day and symbolizes the Bat signal. Unlike most of the Bat family, Signal has powers that are supposed to let him see and manipulate light, but it goes further than that. Using light, he can see weak points on enemies, see through walls, manipulate shadows, turn invisible, and he can see where light has been in the past, like buttons pressed, or see conversations. That's not all, as he can see the light and moves in the future, like when he dodged many universes thrown at him. Speaking of universes, he can see past or alternate universes, all because he can see light. Oh, and he's also implied to be immortal. If you want more whack facts about how inconsistent superpowers are, follow for more. Comics are weird. Just look at Speedy's battle with drugs. Green Arrow tells Hal about how junkies shot one of his arrows at him. He says the only way for them to get it is from Speedy. When he finds Speedy with the drug addicts, he assumes he is undercover. Hal feels the drugs and is confused on how anyone would do them. Speedy tries explaining its addiction, referring to himself, but GL and Green Arrow lack the power of reading social cues, so Hal flies home and Green Arrow finds Speedy doing drugs. Like any reasonable person, Green Arrow goes full Chris Breezy. With nowhere else to go, Speedy goes to Black Canary and beats his addiction. I also would get addicted to drugs just so she could help me, respectfully. During a funeral, Speedy sees Arrow and says he beat his addiction. He rejects Arrow's gratitude because he did nothing to help him and punches him in the face, just to show him a piece of what he felt during his struggle, which made Arrow very proud, I guess. If you want more videos about heroes beating things, follow for more. Did you know Spider-Man 1v2 The Phoenix Force? It starts with the Avengers getting their backs blown out by Phoenix, Amp, Colossus, and Magic. Spider-Man sees this and decides that as an Avenger he needs to step up as top dog. He then evaluated everyone and traps himself with the two X-Men. He starts talking smack, but the only thing that gets smacked is his jaw into the back of Spidey's skull. Pete gets back up and trades some blows before getting hit by an 8-piece combo with a large side and drink. He decides to use his Hall of Fame instigation badge and says they can't both have all the power, as it's distributed between, only one can have all the power. Colossus and Magic take each other out and Spider-Man asks Uncle Ben if he did good before going unconscious. Marvel must get a hard-on for having Peter win against Cosmic Fire characters and, well, torturing him. If you want to see how comics are weird, follow for more. Who on Hulk's big girthy gamma dong is Dark Hawk? Make sure not to say his name too fast. Christopher Powell, or Dark Hawk, is a superhero made in the 80s who uses an alien amulet to swap his human body for this suit of armor called a Raptor. He started off as a street-tier hero who teamed up with guys like Spider-Man several times. Like the time he ran Hobgoblin's fate and Spider-Man had to stop Dark Hawk from sending Hobgoblin to Uncle Ben. However, he becomes a cosmic character who would often work with Nova. All three of these heroes team up with each other quite often. Later, Dark Hawk meets Talon, who teaches him about the armor's origin and powers, which involves his armor changing and adapting to environments. Some highlights include Dark Hawk perfectly syncing with his armor, or the time he turned into a giant Gundam and fought a Phoenix Force tier version of his Raptor suit. They really just be letting any street tier hero box with galactic beings, which makes sense because comics are weird, and if you want to see how weird, follow for more. Who remembers the time Alfred slid for Brucey Poo? This happens in the Injustice timeline where Superman is basically Hitler. Now I know I made a joke about this already, but this time Superman literally blows Batman's back out. Batman says he wasn't looking to fight, but to distract Superman while his plan unfolds. Superman starts breaking Batman's back even more, and Batman starts saying how weak Superman is for resorting to torture. That's when Alfred pulls up and starts putting Clark on a shirt. He straight up beats the Smallville out of him and carries Bruce away. Later, Superman spins the block on Alfred to learn where Bruce is. Alfred doesn't hear that broke talk and reminds Clark of his broken nose. Alfred then just leaves a pissed off Superman saying to let himself out and goes to bed to snooze. I know I say comics are weird, but this was the time they were valid, and if you don't want Alfred to pull up on you, follow for more.